Welcome back to another episode of The Black Path. Today, I am joined by a husband, a father, a business owner, and your pest control guy's favorite pest control guy, Javi from Left Coast Pest Solutions.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
Thanks
those
for
that
coming.
don't know me, yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah.
For those that don't know me, yep, I'm Javi, owner of Left Coast Pest Solutions, and Anthony was nice enough to invite me over. So
Yeah, like I said, your pest control guy's favorite pest control guy. I see you on the internet blowing up. I was looking at your page today just to kind of guide what we were talking about. We're real life friends, but I was also looking at that. I would have thought you had like 50,000 followers.
I mean, I wish,
Yeah.
but
Do you push the online stuff?
we do. So like, you know what? I have to give credit to Des on that because she's the one that really pushes it. She makes
Yeah.
the funny videos, the memes, and everything
Yeah.
you see. But lately, like I can say we've been slacking on it. But before, when we first started, we were like trying to you know how influencers have like their email like for contact on
Yeah.
their bio. I would literally sit there because I'd had all this time because I didn't have any customers yet, and I'll email all of them like, "Hey, let me do your pest control for free if you can just post me."
Yeah.
And it's funny because like a couple of funny people responded to us and we did work for them. I know a lot of like professional dirt bike riders
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like right away they're like, "Heck yeah, dude, they already knew me, so like let's do it." And funny one, like I don't even know if I should mention it, but do you know who Jenny 69 is?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Des went to her house to kill ants, and dude, she was so cool that she followed Des around while because Des used to be a technician with
I remember.
so she followed Des around, and she was while Des did the ant treatment, right? And she went live on the thing. We didn't expect her to do that. I just wanted her to post on her story and say, "Hey guys, call Left Coast. They help me with my ants."
Yeah.
Because she posted on her story like, "Hey guys, I have an ant issue," and everybody tagged us. And she's like, "Okay, well, I'll call them." You know. So Des went the next day. We did it for free. And at first, I was like, "Man, I have to pay for the gas because we didn't have much money." I'm like, "I have to pay for the gas, the product." She's using Termidor. Termidor costs a lot of money, you know. So I'm like, "Okay, let's hope it works out." Next day, our phone was blowing up. It was
Really?
crazy. Yeah, actually, the phone was. I think we gained like 2,000 followers that day just from her.
How many? I didn't look at Left Coast. How many followers are on there? Do you think?
I think like 7,200 right now.
Wow, so you have more in your business than your personal.
Oh yeah, for
That's
sure. On the
crazy.
business, I have more. Thankfully, I like
Yeah.
it that way. You know,
Yeah.
my personal one. I mean, obviously on my personal one, I post a lot of personal things. I
Yeah.
post the pictures of my kid and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So the people who want to see that follow me, but everybody that wants to see the nasty stuff, they follow Left Coast. You know, and a lot of people unfollow us depending on what I'm posting.
Oh yeah,
you know?
for
So,
sure.
like
I'm gonna the title to this or the thumbnail for this thing is gonna be holding the rat.
Good.
Yeah.
So there's a video on there of the one that really like we lost like 300 followers or something that day. Like I lifted up a rat and it was just like these
Oh, I
black
remember
maggots.
that. Yeah.
And like people were mad about it. And then Des had to put disclaimers on their videos now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, that's cool. But we actually started gaining more followers and people were asking us, hey, when are you going to post more stuff? And I'm like, well, hopefully we run into sign us up and we'll go to your house. You know?
Yeah, see what you got there.
Yeah.
I remember when you we'll go back to the beginning, but I remember when you first started doing the pest control here, you were spraying like in a pipe and like a million of the wolf spiders came out.
Yeah, back in the middle right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, this place
And I was
is
surprised
spiders.
because I've never seen that. And I was like,
this
oh,
place
dang.
is like spider
Yeah.
heaven, man.
And wolf spiders are pretty gnarly. I remember the first time I ever seen one was at a restaurant I was servicing when I worked for a different company, and it just fell and it splattered. And I thought it was a tarantula. So now when customers call us, I remember that first time I saw a wolf spider, like a full size one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they probably feel like the way I did, you know?
Yeah,
I'm just like, holy crap, a big old hairy spider. I'm like, that's crazy, you know?
So I don't think I'd ever seen them ever until I moved out in this area, like in the Diamond Valley area. And at my old house, one like ran inside.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a tarantula. And I stomped it out. And
You can hear them running. And everything. Yeah. It's pretty crazy, especially if you have like laminate floors.
So at my old place, it was small, and we had a pest control guy, and he was pretty good. And there was never any spiders. Every once in a while, we'd have other bugs, but not a lot. The place I live now is big, so we have a little bit more spiders. You guys do a great job, but this place is fucking huge, dude. Like, and it's outdoors, and there's just
and then you cleaned it up a lot, so it's like
and little by little, I'm cleaning it up more. But I remember like 2 or 3 summers ago, before you guys started coming out, it was like when I first moved here. It's before you guys started coming out. I was walking in the shop and it was dark, and I went into the bathroom. And we have like a bathroom light, and the rest of the shop is dark. And I'm coming out of the bathroom, and I see something. And I was like, "Oh damn, there's a mouse in here." And I look at it again. It wasn't a mouse, dude. It was a wolf spider, dude. It was like legitimately this big.
Yeah.
And I ran over and I was wearing my Crocs and I stomped it, and it felt like I stomped on a golf ball. And then I looked and it was dead, and I was like, that is the gnarliest
And they
spider I've
jump
ever
too.
seen. Dude, those things, have you ever been bitten by one yet?
I haven't, but they're so their bite hurts, but they're not poisonous.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
cool. Like it's not gonna kill you.
Yeah.
But you don't want
Supposedly
that
it
thing
hurts
on
really
there.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like guys, if you're listening and you have you leave your boots in the garage or outside your doorstep or whatever, that's where they're gonna go in.
Yeah, I definitely don't do that.
So
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah,
So
my boots are in my room, unfortunately, but like
100% they're gonna go in your
Yeah,
boot if you
yeah.
have wool spiders.
Yeah.
You know, so and imagine 6 a.m. you're going to work, dude, and you see a big old spider in your foot. You know, it's not. Or you're driving and you feel it. You know,
even now, I don't leave my shoes outside, but even now, like when I go to put my shoes on, I check them always. It's been, I don't know why. I think when I was a kid, I saw something about a snake in my boot, you know, and I got.
You ever get tarantulas out here or no?
We don't see them. I see the tarantula hawks, so they're probably here. But
they're
I don't
around,
see
but
them. Yeah.
That's one time when she was a technician for like a year and a half or something, and then we have Valentino. But what is it? We got a call from one of our friends' houses, and she's like, "There's a tarantula in my house." And then Des was like, "The nearest one," and so she had to go handle. There's a picture of that on Instagram too.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah,
where it's like in a cup, and she had to get it, and Des was like, "She's
scared too.
She doesn't want to touch it. She's like, dude, this sucks, you know, but we have to do it."
Yeah,
and she got it, and then she calls me. She's like, "I have it in. I like put a cup over it. What do I do now?" I'm like, "Get the lid and scoop it up," or I don't know, because I wouldn't even. I'm like, I would just kill it, you know, but. Des is nice. She brought it all the way home, and then we let it loose somewhere. And I'm like, okay, like I would have done something different, you know. But you know what's crazy is that one time she brought 2 birds in a shoebox.
Where did they come from? Someone's house.
Someone's house. She removed the nest, and then I get home. It was in our tiny apartment. I see a Nike shoebox on the counter, and I'm like, "What's in the shoebox? You got new shoes?" And she's like, "No, you're gonna be mad at me." I'm like, "Why?" And then she opens it. And there's 2 baby birds. I'm like, they're
dead.
No, they weren't. They were
but
alive.
They're gonna be dead, right?
They're gonna be dead because their mom's not around.
Yeah.
I'm like, Des isn't gonna feed them worms every day or whatever they eat, you know. So it was just funny, and they ended up dying. So, sorry everybody.
That's sad.
Offends you, but
my old house, we used to get like the ones that build the mud nests. What are those things called? Swallows.
Swallows, yeah. So those are actually an issue a lot of the times because customers come over or they call us and. They look like wasp nests, you know, like mud daubers or something like that, but they're birds and they're protected. So there's only a certain time of the year where you can mess with them. But if you have a swallow's nest, like you have to leave it alone by law. Like I forgot what the fine is, but there's a fine if you mess with them. I would have to look it up. I don't know if off the top of my head. Crow's nests too.
Really?
Like people call us for there'll be a crow's nest on a house, but I can't touch it. You know? And then one time I went to go check it out, and the crow was just flying above me, and I'm on the roof. And I'm like, this guy's gonna attack me right now. And crows are smart; they don't.
They're smart.
Man. They'll follow your truck and everything. But yeah, it's crazy.
I read one time when I was driving. If you drive up north in the 5, there's swallows nests everywhere on the bridges.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what it was one time, and I was reading about it. They can actually take bridges down.
Yeah.
They can put so much weight on the bottom of a bridge where they're not load bearing that it can break them.
It's just full of mud. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like how much, like especially if you have one like up in your backyard or in front porch, the mess they make, all the feathers, all the sometimes they have bird mite, and then if they're next to your window, you get bird mites in your house.
Oh, really?
It's pretty crazy.
That's nasty.
But like that we can treat. Yeah, they're nasty, dude. And well, all birds, you know, it's like rodents, but they fly. You know.
Yeah.
So
luckily, you know, we kind of. The mice are kind of hit. They're seasonally out here because this is like a rural area. But dude, these cats started showing up. No more mice, dude.
That's the best.
But you can hear the birds like crazy. Hopefully, you can't hear them too much on the mics. But there's a million birds in here. But I see the cats out here with mice in their mouth and birds in their mouth every day.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Mice like. For that, obviously we can control them. Never gonna get rid of them off your property. Like no matter what any pest control company tries to lie to you about, it's not gonna happen.
I think that's a good point to talk about how like to be honest with your customers what you can.
Oh, totally, man. Like I always like make sure they know because for example, if I'm gonna promise them like, oh, you're never gonna see a rat in your life ever again on your property, like some companies do. For example, like the kids that go around on the segways or whatever they're riding, they come knock on your door and they try to sell you pest control. That kid's never done pest control in his life, right? So he's going to sell you the world because he's about to get commission off that. And he tells you, you're never going to see a rat. And then the real technician comes and he's going to tell you like, no, I'm going to try to control it. You know, like you still might see one once in a while, but it's not going to go away forever.
It's especially out here. It's impossible. Like my neighbors in their front yard have cows. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but in my front yard, they had like 10 cows in their front yard. And then behind me, there's a thoroughbred track. There's like hundreds of horses back there.
Back here?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
shoot.
literally on
I didn't know that.
the other
Yeah.
side of my fence, there's a track. And it goes from the corner to the corner. So they have all the properties.
My buddy's neighborhood is right next to a thoroughbred, like where they have like, dude, I don't know how many horses they have. Like, it's huge right there in Menifee. But he gets a lot of rodents in his neighborhood, you know?
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but he gets it. Like, sometimes I will find a dead one in his backyard from, you know, us doing our thing. But yeah, it's just, as long as we protect it a little bit, we're going to try our best. But yeah, getting rid of them completely is impossible. Even
your neighborhood, because you live in a basically a brand new neighborhood, but it's on the edge of a town. So
yeah. So when they were building that Holland Bridge, they when they were building that whole neighborhood was having an issue. So I'm on the Ring Gap, right? Yeah. I've always lived around there. So like before I moved there, I lived on the other side of the bridge, like literally 2 minutes away.
Okay.
And when they started building the bridge, everybody was complaining about rodents, you know. And then luckily we got a lot of calls for it. And right now in my neighborhood, like we've been there for a year, and I've been trying to sell pest control in my neighborhood for a while, but I don't know, man. Neighbors are different than they were before, you know. Like,
you don't have all your neighbors as customers?
I have, like, on my street, I have 3 customers, right? But then I see other pest control trucks pulling up, and I have all my trucks in front of my house. Des even wrote them like a nice like letter and like our thing and put it on their door and stuff. But I mean, they probably had this guy. They're probably under contract, so I don't blame them.
Well, I think a lot of it is like people don't want to see how the sausage is made, and because you're their neighbor and you're not like this giant corporation, they probably automatically assume, oh, he's just like a normal guy. He's not a professional. But the problem that I would guess, like the industries I've been in, the smaller the guy, usually the more expert they have. Because there's better training and all that kind of stuff. Well, and you actually care because you want to keep the customers.
And they're gonna get me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go across the street and take care of your house. And if there's an issue, I'll go there at midnight. You know, like whatever I need to do. But yeah, our next door neighbor, they're really cool. They own a small business too, REP suspension, and they do my suspension on my dirt bikes and stuff. And dude, it's so cool like having them as neighbors because they understand. They hired us right away. What's funny is when I first moved there, they're all like, "Oh, what are you guys doing at this house?" You know, they thought I was working there. I pull all my trucks have a logo on it. You know, so they all look like work trucks. And what is it? I was like, "Oh no," she's like, "Oh, you can do my house," because she's like right away. You know, I was like, "Cool." You know, like I was happy because we just moved in. We hadn't even moved our stuff in. And we got a customer already.
That's awesome.
You know, and then our other neighbor signed up, and then now we're trying to like the one behind us signed up. So hopefully before this summer, when everybody starts talking about pest control and like all the issues that they're gonna have, hopefully they
call you.
Yeah, hopefully they call us.
Yeah. Well, let's take a step back and go back to the beginning. So we kind of just talked about like what you're doing now and stuff, but where are you from? Where did you start at? In life, not in business.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. So I was born in Harbor City, so pretty much Torrance right there, LA,
oh, really?
Carson.
I had I thought you were from somewhere else completely.
No, from LA. And I lived there until I was 13, 14, then we moved to Brawley. So,
okay, so I thought you were from Brawley.
Yeah, so no, I went to high school in Brawley. Oh, okay. And I was there for, I want to say, 4 or 5 years. I think I did a year in middle school there. Yeah. 8th grade, and then it was right away. So it was like a big culture shock for me to have to move, you know? So, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a treatment here.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, it's fucking flies. This is my fault. I left all the doors. I painted this wall last night. I left all the doors open and tried to get the paint fume out of here. And
no, I'll kill it.
We got flies. I got my electric fly swatter. I don't know if I might be looking for a job. So let me show you what I can do.
Let's see if we can do it for free. That's the thing.
Let me see. All right, let's see what we got here.
There it is.
Oh, I don't want to get you. All right, we're gonna get this fly.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah,
to
I
show
did
you
it on
guys
purpose.
How good I am.
See how to show you how good it is. So you were born in LA and then you moved to Brawley. That's like a giant culture shock for anybody because you go from major city to the middle of nowhere.
It was crazy. Like my parents at the time, like pretty much like if you want me to go way, way back, like my parents had us when they were 15 and 17 years old, you know. I think when I was born, my mom was 18. But I'm only 18 to 20 years older than my parents. You know? So I pretty
younger.
Much, younger. Sorry. And I pretty much grew up with my parents. You know, we were all kids. You 100%. Know what I mean? And so it was, so it was like us moving away was for them. Like they didn't think about like how it affected me. Like, they did think about it, but at the time it was a necessary move for us. You know, because my dad. We were gonna have a way better life down there. LA was like unaffordable for us. And again, don't forget, like they had us as teenagers, so
Yeah.
you can understand like the financial
Yeah.
struggles they had, like while we were growing up. Like it wasn't easy. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I think that's kind of one of the things I wanted to go into is like because now I think now if people see you on, I've actually seen the comments on your page. People say like they think you're like some trust fund kid and shit like that. So like,
yeah,
so you grew
I
up
have had that a
with
lot. I don't know why
little.
people. Yeah,
Maybe you weren't poor. Were you poor? Or?
yes,
Yeah. So you guys kind of grew up poor, and then so you went from LA, which is even so. How old are you? 35.
35. Mhm.
So you moved out to Brawley what 20 years ago, or 21 years ago,
I
something
moved
like
out of
that.
Brawley when I was 18.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was the early 2000s, and
Hmm.
LA was already. I mean, LA's always been LA, but it was already LA. So the cost of living in LA is crazy. Like the last I lived in LA for a while too, and the last apartment I had in LA was in a not a great neighborhood in North Hollywood, and I had a roommate, and we were splitting I think $3,700 a month for a 2 bedroom.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know at the time. Like I said, I was 13. I
Mhm.
don't know what my
Yeah,
parents were paying. I do know that our house got foreclosed on in Carson,
Mhm.
and then we didn't have a house for a while, so we were living at other family members' houses,
Mhm.
and um, what else were we doing? Like we would.
That's probably shaped you a lot though, because
Oh, dude, big
I can
time.
see based on how you are, you treat like all your friends as family, and you treat your family really well.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
And
But so like after the house got foreclosed on, like my parents started off in an apartment. Then when as far as I can remember, we lived in a duplex in the back of someone's house, and from there, I don't have a good memory, but I just remember always being scared of a dog, like being right
yeah,
there. That was always there. It was a German Shepherd. And then from there, my parents got a house, and my dad was working at a place called Fantastic Cafe. He worked there for 15 years,
that was
and
in Brawley.
no, in LA.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so it's still around too. Like
Mm.
there's one in Long Beach, but I think the one that he worked at burned down.
Okay,
And so lived there, and then during that time, what is it? My mom worked at this place called Smurfit, but yeah, they were just kids, dude. And
just
then we had no
regular kind
money,
of
nothing.
jobs. Yeah.
So they got a house, and do you remember where Home Depot Center? What's it called now? It's not Home Depot Center anymore.
Oh yeah, the soccer stadium, right?
Yep, it's right down the street where we used to live.
QuickBooks, maybe. Oh,
Is it QuickBooks?
I don't
Intuit?
know.
No, no, it's not Intuit.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about
Yeah,
though.
so we lived there, and then that's the house that got foreclosed on. And from there, we were bouncing around a lot. We lived in Compton, we lived in Norwalk at one point, and then like we were kind of like moving around. And now that I'm an adult, I was seeing that we were staying at people's places until they got tired of us, and we had to
Yeah,
go to the next family
yeah,
members'
yeah, yeah,
houses,
for sure.
So,
Yeah. How many
so
siblings do you have? You have two sisters.
I have two sisters, one
Yeah.
older, one younger.
Mhm.
But it was me and my older sister that went through all that moving phase,
Mhm.
and then my little sister came over when after we moved around so much, my parents bought a trailer in Gardena on 134th Street, and we lived there for I don't know how many years, probably 5, 6 years. But yeah, they bought a trailer. I remember the trailer was 13 grand or something like that,
Yeah.
and we lived there. It was a little trailer park, and so it's crazy because sometimes when I work in LA, because we still do work out there,
Mhm.
go out there, I'll work, and I'll pass by the trailer and I'll sit in front of it, and the people probably think I'm a freaking weirdo. They're
Yeah.
probably like, "Why is this dude
Yeah.
like?" Because they probably see my logo a couple
Yeah. Yeah.
times. They're like, "What the heck?" But I just kind of sit there. I'm like, dude, like that's crazy. Like I
You
always like
came
to
from
remember
there. Yeah, for
I came
sure.
from this, and one thing is like don't want to go back. I
Yeah.
think that's a fear that I have, like now, like
Mhm.
forever, and like for example, my wife, like she grew up different than I did. Not saying that she grew up privileged or
Mhm.
anything, but like for example, she grew up with everything she needed. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And she
And
was the youngest, and her
she was
siblings
the
are
youngest.
significantly
Yeah,
older.
they're significantly older
Yeah.
than her. So she grew up with what she needed and stuff, and that's awesome. Like that's how it should be,
Yeah.
Like but for me, like if I would have seen her as a kid and the house she grew up in,
Yeah.
and it's just a regular track home, two
You would
story
have thought she
house.
was rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen her? Have you seen their house?
Not the old one, no.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
old one, like I would have been like, dude, these people are freaking rich. They have stairs in their house.
Yeah.
Like, what the
I
heck?
always thought the
Like
same thing
they
because
have a backyard,
yeah.
and then she has her own room.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, everybody, like the people that have said that, like I'm some trans funk kid, and
Yeah. Yeah.
my dad helped me. He didn't. Like my dad helped me by giving me like the ability to work the way I do and
Mhm.
like the way I treat people.
Yeah.
Like great dad, dude. He taught me everything I know. So, um, but the thing is, like, I used to sleep I had a futon in the
Mhm.
trailer, and that was my bed. I
Yeah.
didn't have my own room until we moved to Brawley.
So
So
what? So you guys moved to Brawley. Did they get better jobs, or what was
oh yeah,
what
dude,
was the
totally.
reason to move out
So
there?
um,
Raleigh's the middle of nowhere, California, by the
Yeah, it
way.
is. I don't know if you want to look it up. It's like the butthole of California.
Yeah, it's the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
So pretty much like we moved out there, and because if I want to get deep, my dad had an alcohol issue, and my mom was trying to push him away from LA.
Okay.
So all his friends, everything, because he kept going
Yeah,
back,
to start over.
So
Yeah.
start over, dude. And
Yeah.
it was like, what's crazy is like my mom. It could have been easy for her, dude. She could have just left and been
Yeah.
like, "All right, I'm gonna take my kids, dude, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this guy," But she didn't. So she's like, she's stuck with my dad. They're still together. They've been together. I don't want to butcher it, but like 40 something years now,
Wow.
married.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
They had a crazy life, dude. Like their life is crazy, but at the same time, when my dad was having these issues, like right now, anybody can say when I was 23, 25 that I had an alcohol issue, but I didn't. I was just partying with my friends. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But my dad was just growing up, dude. Like he was
Yeah.
drinking with his friends, having a good time.
That's a hard part about having young children. Like my mom was 25 when she had me, but I have older siblings and she was 18, 19, and 20. And like the same thing. She kind of grew up raising kids while, while raising my siblings and stuff.
Yeah. So my little sister was born in 98. So I'm 8 years older than her. And she kind of missed all that part. And she's different from me and my older sister, dude. You know what I mean? But we're all, we're all great kids. I can say that, But my sister's like, they're freaking awesome, dude.
She didn't. Your youngest sister didn't quite. She doesn't remember the struggle that you.
She doesn't remember the struggle, like. And me and my sister made sure she knows that, like, hey, you didn't go through that, we always tell her. But we're all really close, and it's pretty cool. Like, but my parents made it a long way. They moved to Brawley.
Yeah.
My dad became a self-employed truck driver, and my mom got a job out there that she still has right now, working for a produce company. And dude, our life just like literally.
Don't your parents live here?
No, they live in Brawley still.
Oh, I thought your parents lived here.
No, they still live out there. So I don't visit them in the summer, dude. It's like 124 degrees out there.
It's
they
hot
come
out
down
there.
here, So they already know if it's summertime, don't invite me. Dude. I'm not gonna go.
I'm not going.
I'm not going, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we moved out there. My life just completely like 180. Like, I mean, not only did I lose all my friends, I'm 14. I can't drive to LA to go see them.
Yeah.
So they're just done. Like I didn't have a cell phone. There's no cell phones back then.
And that was kind of even like really pre like was MySpace cracking then?
Yeah, it was MySpace
was it?
time. Yeah.
So did you guys have a computer and the internet and
when
stuff?
was MySpace, dude? Was it MySpace like
2004?
Something like that. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Did you guys have a computer?
We had a computer. We had a desktop that everybody used right there.
Yeah.
So me and my older sister would fight over it, MSN Messenger, all that crap. So, like I'm telling you, dude, like my life, my dad completely changed. He worked super hard. I just remember him being gone all the time, dude. It was just me, my mom, and my sisters at the house.
Was he like an over the road trucker? He was going places?
He was like local, but like he'd go to Oregon. He'd go to so he'd be gone for a few days, and then sometimes they'd call him back up there, and then so he'd be gone for like a week. But dude, like he spent I don't know how many years just hustling, dude, like working because he was making more money than he ever has, and and then what is it like? I remember we went to a used car dealership. He got a Tahoe, and we were like, holy crap, like we have a freaking Tahoe, like this is freaking nuts, like it was crazy. And then it was crazy. My mom, she I can say it's all because of her, because my mom like kind of pushed my dad to do that. She applied for him for that job, and then she told him, hey, your interview's this day, you got to be there. He went, did it all, and got the job. She sent him to the driving school. She did everything, dude.
Wow.
And then while my mom was raising 3 kids, you know what I mean? So
is your dad still a truck driver?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Wow, that's a long time to do that.
Yeah, but right now, like, I mean, thank God he paid off his house. He's chilling, and his kids are grown.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to like what they gone through, that they're still together and that they're still like, dude,
thriving.
Dude, if you see them together, it looks like they just got married. Like they're always all over each other. Like it's pretty cool,
How do you think like growing up with that, with like turmoil in the beginning, and then seeing your mom push your dad to hustle, and then your dad actually going out there and hustle? How do you think that like shaped you as a person going forward? I know how it shaped me because I grew up very similar to that.
Yeah. So it just like something I did. I can say like I don't know how it shaped me, but I can say like if you're gonna start a business, you're gonna do anything in life, dude. Like your partner is like very important on who you choose.
Yeah.
And you better know that it is like, for example, dude, like with Des, like I freaking lucked out. Like
Yeah.
what other like I can't think of anyone else that's gonna go get a tarantula for me, dude, from my
Yeah.
house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or go in an attic. I remember one time in LA, there was like a little tiny hole
Mhm.
that she fit in because she's small, and she went in there to go get a rat.
Oh, wow.
Like, come on, man. Where else
Yeah.
am I gonna find that?
Yeah,
Like, that's
you
freaking
need
nuts.
yeah, you need to find a partner that's gonna
That just supports you,
that's
dude.
gonna be a
Yeah.
partner. I got lucky and I found the same thing because before I met my wife, I was wilding out. I was just a wild boy before that, and then I met her and things got serious pretty quick. I decided I was like, "Yo, am I gonna continue to go out and be a wild boy, or am I gonna try to have some security so I can,
Hmm.
grow this relationship together?" And luckily, I have that, and it's the very same thing. Like she supports me if I need her to help in the shop, she helps in the shop and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah, I think having the backbone at home and having a support system and a partner in all things is super important.
Yeah. Like, for example, when I found out I wanted to open up Left Coast, like I wasn't even afraid or anything to let her know like, hey, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna quit my
Yeah.
job, you know. So she was, I mean, I did tell
Well,
her.
let's start there then. So did you went to high school in Brawley and everything, and
Mhm.
then did you go to college or anything?
So I got my associate's degree from Imperial Valley College out
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
So I
Well, let's take even a further step back. Did you ever work?
yeah, I
What was
worked
your
at
first?
Starbucks before.
How old were you?
Shoot, I was 17 when I started working at Starbucks.
Were you in high school still or out?
It was right after high school, like
Yeah.
literally a month later, I started working there.
And then you were going to community college
Then
at
I
the
was going
same
to
time?
community college, and
Yeah.
dude, honestly, like Starbucks taught me so much because like I grew up in LA and I grew up talking different and like maybe not but in the nicest way of talking, you know.
Mhm.
So Starbucks kind of like they tell you how to talk to people and they tell you how to treat people and they tell you
Sure.
exactly what to
Yeah.
say. And I talk to thousands of people all
Yeah.
the time, you know, like as far as how many I think I worked there for 4 years.
Wow, that's a long
Yeah,
time.
I worked there for a while. I ended up being a store manager at the one at off of Ethernac right here by
Oh,
Home
really?
Depot. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I was a store. I remember they put my name out there. I was
Mm.
like, oh, cool, you know, like, but I
That little one next to the Mexican
next to
place?
Primos. Yeah,
Really?
yep. I was a store
Dang.
manager there for I think a year, and it's funny because from working there is when I found my pest control job, my first
Okay.
one. Um,
So you got your associate's degree, then you moved out here and continued to work at
yeah,
Starbucks. So you started in Brawley,
yeah.
and then you moved out here.
So I
What?
wanted to be a cop all my life, you know.
Okay.
So I got my associate's degree in criminal justice,
Okay.
and I'm like, I stopped going to school because I honestly like I applied to be a sheriff, a police officer, CHP,
Mhm.
border patrol, everything. Like I don't know how many times, dude.
Mhm.
I think I applied for Riverside Sheriff probably like 11 times.
Really?
I passed the physical 11 times. I went through everything, and at the very end, they would always give me some excuse like, "Oh, this is." But honestly, I see
You're
it from
just dude, you're too pretty. They don't wanna see you shine, dude. You
I
can't have
s-
that uniform on.
I see it from a sign of God. Like, dude, this isn't you. I remember the
Yeah.
last time I applied, I was like, "All right, it's not me," you know, like it's just a sign. Like this
Yeah.
isn't. I'm not meant to do this, you know.
Mhm.
So I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, I thought since I was a kid, I was gonna do that. Like, I was living my life
Mhm.
like really good. Like I didn't do anything crazy ever, dude. Like I didn't never did no drugs or nothing like
Mhm.
that. Didn't drink much. And then because I'm like, you know what? Like when I go to my interview, like I'm gonna be honest and do all
Yeah.
that stuff. So um what is it? I didn't happen, you
Yeah.
know? And thank God it didn't, you know, because I'm like, I love my life now. So I'm like, I'm glad that didn't work out. So I figured this out.
So did you leave Brawley to come out here to try to get a job at the sheriff or?
No, so
Uh,
what's funny is like I was in Brawley and I was like, I didn't know where my life was going, dude, after I got like finished with the school stuff. And it's funny when I got my associate's degree, I didn't even tell my parents. Like I didn't see it as a big deal. I'm like, because what am I gonna do with it, you
yeah.
know? And I was kind of like embarrassed that I couldn't get hired, like
Mhm.
you know, by any law enforcement. So I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, so I ended up I actually lied to my mom and I said I got promoted at Starbucks because I was
Mhm.
still working at Starbucks when I moved over here.
Okay.
So I moved to Moreno Valley at my aunt's house for a
Mhm.
little bit, and this was in 2010 or 11. Um, anyway, so I moved out there, and I didn't get a promotion. I just said that so they'd let me move.
Mhm.
Not let me because I was a grown adult
Yeah.
already, but to support me and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, good job. Yeah, you should move." You
Yeah.
know. So I moved, and I told myself when I move over here, I really am gonna get promoted
Mhm.
because over there was no like,
There's not a lot of
there's not a
opportunity
lot
out
of
there, right?
going on over there. Yeah,
Well,
there's
because
nothing.
what else? It's in Brawley. There's agriculture and it's near a military
Border
base, right?
Patrol.
Yeah.
There's Border Patrol. There's
Yeah.
a lot of my friends that do pretty good out there. They're CEOs, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like you got to get out of there, dude. You
Yeah.
know, if you're not in agriculture, you're not gonna make
Yeah.
a lot of money or nothing like that. So I ended up when I moved down here, I got promoted within 2 months to.
Were you just a barista when you moved out here?
No, I was a supervisor already.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was a supervisor, just like a shift lead, you
Mhm.
know? Still not working full time. I was getting like 36, like 32 hours
That's
sometimes.
crazy.
And I would cover
Yeah.
people's shifts
Yeah.
and stuff just to try to get more hours. And I was doing that while I was living with my aunt. And then I got promoted to assistant store manager. And then during that time, like, remember the house market crash
Yeah,
in
2008.
2008? So,
Yeah.
like, in 2011, like going into 12, when I was like 20 or 21, um, it was when I was 20 because I bought my first house
Really?
off of a salary of an assistant store manager at Starbucks, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, so my parents really pushed me to do that because they're like, "Are you gonna stay at your aunt's forever? What are you doing?" You know,
Yeah.
like they were almost embarrassed that I was still at my aunt's, and
Mhm.
I'm a kid, I didn't see it that way. I
Yeah.
was like, they don't care,
Yeah.
but they probably did, but what is it? They helped me a lot by letting me stay there, and I bought a house, and the house was $105,000,
Wow.
and my mortgage was $700, dude,
Where was that at?
in San Jacinto.
Mm.
$700 mortgage. I mean, I
Yeah, that
was
was right when the economy was starting to come back. So if you would have had the money in '08, you probably could have got it for like 40 grand,
yeah,
you know?
super cheap.
Yeah.
And but still it
Yeah.
was 105, and I got a FHA loan at the time, and it was like all they wanted was $3,500 down.
Yeah.
My parents did help me with $3,500, but the deal was that when I sold the house, I got to pay them back.
Yeah, yeah.
So and that did happen
Mhm.
because I did sell the house 5 years later. Um, Des met me when I owned that house, so it was pretty cool. But so she lived there with me for a little bit,
Mhm.
and that money that I got from selling the house is what how Left Coast happened,
Oh, really?
and I used it for my wedding. Yeah,
So so you're working at Starbucks, and then did you meet someone at Ecolab that was doing pest control there or what?
no. So this is funny, man. I actually so Ecolab has different divisions, right?
Mhm.
They have pest control, which is actually a very small division that they have.
I didn't know they did that. I thought they just did cleaning and stuff.
No, they do pest control,
Mhm.
man. They're actually global,
Oh,
like
okay.
but it's only commercial, no
Okay.
houses, nothing like
Mhm.
that. So I saw somebody come in to fix my dishwasher at Starbucks because it was
Mhm.
messed up,
Mhm.
and we were washing everything by hand. So he came in and he fixed it. And I was looking at this dude. He came in, rolled in with a work truck, and he fixed it and left. And then I talked to him for a little bit, and I said, "Hey man, like, how do you like your job?" Because I had at the time I had just got that house,
Mhm.
and I couldn't pay the $700 a month. I mean, I was paying it, but I was
It
like,
was hard.
I had lawn chairs as my furniture,
Yeah.
and I had a air mattress,
Yeah.
and had pink carpet. Like, dude, it was bad, So
I hope the people that think that you're a trust fund kid hear that.
yeah,
That
I
you're
hope so, man. I hope
that
they did listen.
you grinded out $700 a month with lawn chair and an air mattress.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
I
I've
had
been
lawn
there too.
chair. I
Yeah.
had a TV that my parents gave me,
Yep.
and the TV would sit on like a box. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like those memes. Like, guys think this is okay.
Hey,
It
it's
is.
totally okay,
I was
dude.
fine with it, dude.
If I was single, I would live in this shop right
Yeah,
now that we're in.
I don't see nothing wrong with
Yeah,
it.
I would live in the international headquarters.
Just a
Yeah.
little mini fridge, and you're
That's
good,
all I
dude.
need, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I remember at Starbucks we would get tips,
Yeah.
and at the end we distribute the tips, like we divided on. That would be my gas money, for the week or
Yeah.
whatever. And I remember I was like,
What store were you working at then?
that was at Ethanak right here. I was a store
So you were
manager.
driving from San Jacinto to Ethanak every day?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it was far.
Yeah, it's
And
far. I used to do the same thing.
so and that's the thing, like I didn't take account like how much money I was gonna spend on gas,
Yeah.
and dude, like I had no money ever, like I
Mhm.
was it was embarrassing, dude. I would ask for money from my baristas
Mhm.
at the time, like, "Hey, dude, you just got your tips. Do you mind if I borrow it and I'll pay you back like this Friday when I
Mhm.
get paid?" It was embarrassing, man.
Yeah.
But like, I literally didn't want to call my parents and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, mom, guess what? Like, I ran out of
Yeah.
money. Can you send me $40 so I could fill up my tank?"
Yeah.
So I'd figure it out, and then so when this guy came in, I talked to him, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, how do you like your job?" And then I'm like, "How much do you get paid?" And he's like, "You get paid $23 an hour." And at the time, I was like, "What? Like,
Yeah.
I get paid $17 here, like $23 an hour." I'm like, "They give you overtime. You have your own truck. You don't have to use your own car." He's like,
Mhm.
"No, we could take the truck home." I'm like, "Dang, that's gas that I can
Yeah.
save." And I didn't even care what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want that
You
job.
just saw the
Yeah,
opportunity to make more money. Yeah.
yeah. So like now, like that's why whenever people ask me like, "Oh, what if I don't like working there?" I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're gonna get paid and you're gonna pay your bills.
Yeah.
Who cares if you don't like working there, dude?
That
Like
that's a good
that. Worry
mentality to
about it
have. Yeah.
later. You know what I mean? Like, if you really hate
Yeah.
it, find something else you might like, but at the meantime, you're gonna be able to pay your bills like this,
Yeah.
you know. So I've always had that mentality,
Yeah.
dude. Like, um, anyways, yeah. So I applied online to their first thing I saw. It said, he said, "Hey, dude, go on there and check to see if they have like a route management position there."
Mhm.
You know, I'm like, cool, okay. So this guy worked for the water division, to where he goes and he fixes like the water softeners, like because Starbucks has a really like crazy water softening system, and he would go fix that. He would fix the dishwashers, titrations, and all that stuff. And so I applied for the first route manager position. I saw it said Riverside. I was like, cool. I applied. Very next day on a Sunday, random, they called me and they wanted to interview me that same day, and I got interviewed. And I was in my car outside of Starbucks, and I was like, oh, cool. Like,
Mhm.
I got an interview. Um, and I thought it was weird that they called me on a Sunday. Next day, they called me again, and they're all like, hey, can you send over your driver's license? And I was like, cool, yeah. And then they called me again the same day, and then they said, "Hey, you have an in-person interview in Ontario." It was at Coco's, I remember, and I met the guy that was going to be my manager, you
Mhm.
know. And so I went to go get interviewed. It was him, Rowdy, and Danny Andrews, and they're still my friends. So I'm gonna name drop them. They're really good
Mhm.
people. And I remember I was sitting there, and and I thought this was for the water division, right, or for
Mhm.
like the
What that guy was
what
doing.
that guy was
Yeah.
doing. And then I sat down. These guys were dressed different than what he was wearing. I was like, oh, maybe this is what the managers wear or
Yeah.
something. You know, I'm like, I don't know. And their trucks looked different. I was like, whatever. I sat down and they were talking to me. They're like, hey, so like what, like why'd you apply here? I'm like, well, I met this so and so. I thought they would have known him. I forgot the guy's name,
Mhm.
but I remembered his name to tell them.
Mhm.
And then he's all like, oh, okay, yeah, we don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Like, how, like, and they kept asking me questions about him. I'm like, okay, wrong guy, you know.
Yeah.
So um I was sitting there, and they kept asking me questions like about like how I work at Starbucks, and
Mhm.
you know why I want to work there, like normal interview questions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he kept asking me like, oh, how do you feel about cockroaches, you know? And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, why is this guy asking me about cockroaches, dude?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's random, you know? And I told I'm not thinking in my head, maybe when I run into some stuff, there might be cockroaches or
Yeah.
something,
Like
you
when
know,
you're cleaning
whatever.
the water systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes, what would you do if a rat jumped at you? And I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, well, I'd probably move, you know, like, what? I
Mhm.
don't know. Like, so he kept asking me stuff about rodents, pests, and I'm like, and I just didn't click because I didn't think Ecolab did that, you know,
Mhm.
just like you didn't know
Yeah.
that. Um, anyway, so at the very end, I figured it out, and it's for pest control, like for the pest control side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so Starbucks culture and pest control culture, totally different, man. It's like moving from LA to Raleigh, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
for sure. That's a funny thing to talk about. So like I've had a lot of like kind of blue collar jobs and then not blue collar jobs. And I've had friends that done the same thing. Like a friend of mine was a salesman for a craft beer company,
yeah.
and everyone was really soft and really nice. And then he decided he didn't want to do that anymore, and he joined the union.
Mm,
And he's a heavy equipment operator mechanic or heavy equipment mechanic, and it's just totally different kind of cultures, you know what I mean? But
very different.
he
Yeah.
thrives in that rough culture, whereas when he was like a professional, he was having a hard time. And I bet you probably went through that same thing, right? Where
I
you
did,
thrived in
because
that.
during
Yeah.
that interview,
Yeah.
Rowdy, it's funny if he listens to, he probably
Yeah.
will because he
Yeah.
follows me
Mm.
and stuff. But if he listens to it, I'll never forget. I was sitting in front of him, and Danny was next to him, and he goes, "Okay." He's like, "No, everything sounds good." He's like, "But how do you feel about being my bitch?" That's what he said, and I was like, "What?" Like at
Yeah.
Starbucks, like we didn't curse, you
Yeah.
know, like we didn't say anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like, and I looked at him, I'm like,
They care about your feelings there.
yeah, they cared about your feelings and about
Yeah.
others, you know. So,
Yeah. And pest control, they don't.
no, hell no. And yeah, there was no feelings, dude. And Danny starts kind of chuckling a little bit, and I'm like, excuse me, like, what do you mean? And then he's like, yeah, you're gonna be my bitch. And he's like, that's what you're applying for right now. He's like, I didn't put that on the title, but it should say Rowdy's bitch right there, and that's what you're applying for. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, screw this. In my head, I'm like,
Yeah.
screw this guy. I don't
Yeah.
want to work for this dude. Like, who
Yeah.
does he think he is talking to me like that? I'll just work at
Yeah.
Starbucks. I'm a store manager. You know, I'm just like,
But that's funny to say that to you because I strategically planned this where my chair is higher than his chair. You're a giant human being.
yeah.
So like, was he a big ass dude too or no?
No, he
He's just a
wasn't.
regular
Yeah.
sized guy.
Danny was a big dude, but
Yeah.
yeah, Rowdy's a
Yeah.
regular sized dude. And
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, dude, I can't believe this. Like, why am I here? You know, I took the day off,
Yeah.
like, to come over here, drove all the way to Ontario, used my gas,
Mhm.
like, that I can barely afford.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this sucks. So, anyways, I said yes. I'm like, sure, I'll do it. You know,
Yeah.
like, whatever. So at
You
the
just
time,
saw that $25 an hour or
I saw the
whatever, $23 an hour plus a
Yep.
gas card.
No,
Yep.
actually, for the pest side, there wasn't an hourly wage.
Oh, okay.
So that was just straight up commission at the
Oh,
time.
okay.
So that didn't make sense to me because I've never been paid in commission.
Yeah.
So when he started telling me that, I kind of lost interest, and I'm like, no, dude, I need to know if I can pay my damn mortgage.
Yeah.
You know, like I need to know if I can continue living, like
Mhm.
like pay my car because
Mhm.
I'm barely making it right now.
Mhm.
So um, I I didn't want to say that during the interview because at the time, like I didn't have like a lot of experience, like
Sure. Yeah.
and so I'm like, whatever, like I'm probably not gonna get it anyway. So I drove back home. 2 days later, Rowdy calls me. He's like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna hire you, but you have to talk to the regional manager now, Herman Barnes. He talks to everybody that gets hired on." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Um, and at the time, I remember um, what's it called, Starbucks. I forgot what they did. They gave me a little bit of a raise because they knew I was about to leave.
Mhm.
And I told Rowdy no because I'm like, I think I had a good week at Starbucks that week where I
Yeah.
was just like, man, this is cool. I don't need them.
Yeah.
Like luckily that went bad. I told him no, and he's like, okay. He's like, that's fine. He's like, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And then Herman, the regional manager, calls me about 2 days later, and he goes, "Hey, Javier, I know we didn't schedule this." He's like, "But I was supposed to interview you today." He's like, "You were still on my list, so I'm gonna call you. I heard you turned down the job." Super nice guy, Herman. He
Mhm.
actually has his own pest control company now too.
Mhm.
But he goes, "Not a lot of people turn down like a job from us. Ecolab's pretty hard to get into, man. Like
Mhm.
the pest control side, it's one of those companies you kind of want to work for, like
Okay.
the pest control side,
Sure.
right?"
Mhm.
Um, and he goes, "Yeah." He's like, I just told him, like, honestly, man, like the commission thing scares me. I just bought a house. Um, I can't even, like, they weren't even able to tell me how much I was going to get paid. Like, if you can tell me like what my check's going to look like, then I'd be happy
You can
to.
make a
I can
decision.
make a
Yeah.
decision. Yeah. And he says, okay, well, he's like, the new hire that we had last week. He's like, I'm not going to tell you his name, but his check was $1,400. I was just like, what the hell, $1,400? Like that
Mhm.
was a lot for me. My
Yeah.
checks at Starbucks were six, seven hundred
Yeah.
dollars. So I was like, holy crap. And then I got nervous. I was
Mhm.
like, dude, I hope they still take me.
Yeah.
So I told him,
Mhm.
like, well, I am
Mhm.
interested
Yeah.
now. Like I'd
Well,
really
sorry, was that 1,400 every 2 weeks or every
every
week?
2 weeks.
So, like, that doesn't seem like a lot of
It
money
doesn't.
if you're
No.
our age and you're listening to
Yeah.
this, but, I mean, I would have killed for a $1,400 a week every 2-week job when I was that age, and, like, other parts of the country, like, not we're in California, so everything's super expensive here, but if you go to, like, Oklahoma, 1,400 bucks every 2 weeks is still really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
But at the time, my checks at Starbucks were like 900. I remember exactly because whenever laws would change,
Mhm.
like your check moves around with
Yeah, yeah.
taxes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember my first check as a manager was the first time I ever got a check that was like almost $1,000.
Mhm.
And I was like, dang, this is cool. And then but I was barely making it, dude. I was
Yeah.
paycheck to paycheck, like
Yeah.
literally like till the last dollar
Yeah.
before I got paid. And then what is it? So I was thinking like $1,400. That's an extra $400 that I could use right now.
Yeah.
That's $800 a month more.
You could eat a
Um,
little bit better.
I can eat a little better,
Yeah.
dude. Like I don't have to worry about gas. And
Yeah.
then I'm gonna have my own truck to where they give me a gas card,
Mhm.
and I don't have to use my personal vehicle
Yeah.
anymore. So I'm saving gas. And at the time, I forgot what gas was, but I was filling up like
What
$40.
year was this?
I want to say like 2010 or 11. What was the
Yeah,
gas,
gas
like
in
$3
California
or
is probably about
something?
$3. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was filling up with like 40, $45, whatever my
Mhm.
car took at the time. And what is it? So I took all that to account, and I really wanted the job
Yeah.
now. I'm like, I need this, because I want furniture, I want to eat better, and
So
like,
you weren't thinking of outgrowing where you were.
oh, I
You
don't
were
care.
trying to just make your station in life better.
Yes, I was
Okay.
just trying to live better, man.
Yeah.
And then not only that, like I didn't want to feel like, I don't know. I felt like a loser at the time. I was just like, dude, like, what am I doing?
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, where am I going?
Yeah.
Because I can't get into law enforcement. I'm at Starbucks, and I'm a manager, and I'm like, I can't even like make enough money to do this. I can't even do that.
Yeah.
I see my friends having a great time because they grew up different. I don't want to say privileged or whatever, but they had more opportunity than
Yeah.
I did growing up.
Mhm.
So they took advantage of it, and they were living a lot better than I was. And I'm
Mhm.
like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So um, but that's what really pushed me. And then when I started working pest control, I got that first check, it was actually more than $1,400, you know, and because I did good, you know, I was
So
selling stuff,
what were the checks? What were the commission based on? You upselling people?
upselling. So like
Do they give you a
1,400,
route where you're spraying or something already?
yeah. So you
Okay.
have a full route that they give you, and from there, something they didn't mention in an interview is like if you're selling more treatments, like for example, if I go to a commercial building and certain pests aren't covered,
Mhm.
right? So you spray for the normal stuff, and
Yeah.
they say, hey, by the way, we have these Indian meal moths, you know, that are attacking all our food. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Guess what? I can do this treatment for $500, and I think um, Ecolab would give you a percentage of that.
Mhm.
It wasn't like a huge percentage, so like if I save $500, it's not like I got like 200 bucks out
Yeah.
of it. I probably got like an extra like $25 on my paycheck for
But if you
selling
do
that.
enough of those, that
Yeah,
equaled
dude,
something. Yeah.
and it was easy.
Yeah.
You know, like especially if you're not lazy, like it's so easy. Like I would
Yeah.
literally go service all my accounts because it was a night job. You
Mhm.
know, so I was servicing restaurants at night. I would go look at things what they needed and be like, hey, by the way, you're having this issue. Let me close up these holes for you, and it'll be this much, and I can do it tomorrow. You know, and
So you got to set your own schedule too.
yeah, you got to set your own schedule. You got to set as long as your route was finished at the end of the month,
Mhm.
they don't care. You know,
Okay.
so
Oh, so
um,
you had a month-long
a
schedule.
month long
So
schedule for the
this is what
same
you had to do
restaurants.
for a month,
Yep.
and then if you could fit other things in there, they would kind of commission you
Yeah,
on it.
so
Yeah.
my route at the time was based in Rancho Cucamonga, Ontario, and Corona. So I
Okay.
was only working those areas,
Mhm.
and I was working the night route. So everybody that starts at Ecolab, you start at night. You
Mhm.
know, if you're lucky enough, you start during the day. The day guys make are where the money's at. You
Mhm.
know, so that's kind of your goal is to
Get to a day guy.
get to a day guy.
Mhm.
Yep, and then that's where you make your money. Um, so I worked at Ecolab a total of 10 years.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I worked there for 10 years, and the first 3 years I was just a route specialist. I was just a
Mhm.
specialist running my route. I ran a bunch of different routes. My favorite route that I ever ran was in Temecula.
How long did you say that was you're doing that for?
3
3 years?
years.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. 3.5 because at 4 I got promoted.
Okay.
And but my favorite route I ran was in Temecula because I was always working in the very bad areas like
Mhm.
San Bernardino, like
Mhm.
in all those areas. So I would have to deal with a lot more issues than
Sure.
like pretty much like when I got the Temecula route, like people were kind of upset because I was only there for like 3 years and I
Mhm.
got it. And but it was so easy for me because I'm like, these people buy everything. You know,
Yeah.
you can sell
Yeah,
anything
I
to
was gonna
them.
say that's gotta be
Yeah.
the difference was San Bernardino, the upsell's probably harder,
Oh, it's
and
super
then
hard. Yeah.
Temecula, they got a little bit more free cash
Oh,
already.
Temecula, it's easy because
Yeah.
they want to make sure that they don't have those issues. They're
Yeah.
like, dude, just do whatever you got to do,
Yeah.
you know? Um, and so working there taught me how to sell, how to talk to people, and obviously how to be a technician because Ecolab, like their training program, they send you to Minnesota for 3 weeks,
Oh,
you
wow.
know? And you go out there to their headquarters, like super cool. They have a cool scientist there that tests all the products,
Mhm.
get to walk around, you go through all these classes. And at the time, I was like, dude, I was like, this is such a crazy job. I can't believe they flew me out somewhere. Like,
Is that the first time you've ever flown anywhere?
yeah, like out of state like that.
Mm.
Yeah. And especially for work, you know? So, I mean, I've flown to Mexico before and
Oh,
stuff,
okay.
but like anywhere else in the state, that was the
Yeah.
first time I ever went anywhere. And I went out there and I remember getting there and I thought it was so cool that they had like buses to pick us up.
Yeah.
Somebody was there with the sign,
Mhm.
you know, like and I was like, dude, this is crazy. It's like a
Yeah.
freaking movie, you know? So I felt like I was getting spoiled and it was crazy. But so when I got promoted to a field training specialist, which was a new position that
Mhm.
that had opened up to where and speaking about traveling, all I did was travel.
Okay.
I traveled to Minnesota, like I don't know how many freaking times, man. Like I was a new guy, so they would send me there when it was cold. So every time I was there, it was like -11,
I've been
-5. It
there when
was
it's like that,
horrible,
yeah.
dude. We would get snowed into, my flights would get canceled and
Mhm.
stuff. So, but at the time, like, um, I didn't have kids, I didn't have a wife, you know,
Yeah.
so it was easy,
Yeah.
like, for them to send me because the
Yeah.
guys that had their
They're like,
families
"Oh,
and
I
stuff,
can't leave my family."
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they didn't want to leave the
Yeah.
family and stuff. So, I was able to go to Hawaii a bunch of times.
Oh,
Like,
that's cool.
it was cool, man. I think I spent like maybe half a year in Hawaii, like in total, because they would send me out there so much.
Wow.
And it sounds cool, but when you're
Were
out
you
there,
working when
yeah, I
you're
was
out
working
there?
the whole time.
Yeah.
I got to fly out Des out there a few times too. It was
That's
pretty cool
awesome.
on the company's dime too. It was pretty cool. They felt bad for me because I was always over there because
Mhm.
nobody else wanted to go.
Oh,
Because
okay.
when you're out there, you have to stay the full 2 weeks. At other places, you can come back for the weekend.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, over there it was like 2 week training, take a break for 1 week, and then you go back for the next week, right?
Mhm.
But nobody wanted to go out there because of families and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. Like I was always willing to go, and they would say like, if you want, dude, you can take your girlfriend, you know. And Des was my girlfriend at the time. She's my
That's
wife now.
awesome.
But yeah, it was pretty cool.
I'm just gonna make sure we're still recording. Yeah, we're still going. Yeah. So you worked there. This period was that you're like 4, 5, 6 years, right?
Yep.
What did you do until the end of the time there? What was your last position there?
My last position. So I went from the route specialist, then a field training specialist,
Mhm.
and then the toughest position I've ever had there was being a district manager in LA, and I was managing 22 guys.
Wow.
You know, so what was crazy is I think I was thrown in there. I don't think, I kind of know I was thrown in there to get fired, pretty
Oh,
much.
really?
Yeah. Not that they didn't like me, because they did, but the guys, every single guy that had that position got fired, dude. So I took over a district that was, there was 168 districts at the time, and we were dead last, dude. Like we
Mhm.
were like the worst one in the nation. You know,
Mhm.
LA. It was horrible because the turnover rate was so bad.
Mhm.
You get technicians, you can't keep them. You know, like they want to quit, or they just leave.
Mhm.
I've had technicians leave me vehicles in the middle of LA and say, "Hey, sorry, dude, can't do this. Your vehicle's here. I left the keys inside." You know, and I'm like, middle of the night, 2 in the
Well, I
morning.
guess I gotta go get this
Got to
car.
go
Yeah.
get this vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, so and at the time, I was managing the 22 guys and no training on that or anything like that. So I was kind of thrown to the wolves.
Mhm.
And luckily, like I was able, that team couldn't get worse than it was. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise that they were so bad
Mhm.
that I'm like,
You were
it could
able to
only
improve
get
them.
better.
Yeah.
It could only get better. It's not
Yeah.
gonna get any worse. So I went in there. I literally got rid of all the cancer in the team. By
Mhm.
cancer, I mean like the guys that were just like literally not helping at all. You know,
Sure.
so like they
Yeah.
were on their way out. So hired a whole new team. They're still there till this day too. Almost everybody that I hired is still
Really.
there. Yep. And what is it? So we, that year we went from last to like the middle of the pack.
Mhm.
The second year when we were up and running, like where my team was like together,
Mhm.
and the morale was up. I took them out on a boat that I almost got fired for, you know, because everybody just hated their job, man. I
Sure.
remember because we moved up in the rankings.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, my team deserves something, so I took them out deep sea fishing, and they gave us like an amount that we can spend on the team.
Mhm.
So they said, hey, you can spend $2,500. I'm like, okay, cool. But I had an assistant manager, right? And he had a card too that he can spend $2,500 on,
Mhm.
like taking the guys out to lunch.
Yeah.
So we spent $5,000, and I used 2,500 on mine and 2,500 on his.
Mhm.
And then we got in trouble because they found out what we did. You
That
know,
you
like
combined the
we
two?
combined it,
Yeah.
and we took them out deep sea fishing. We went to a Brazilian steakhouse. Like it was cool. And after that, dude, we were up and running, and we ended up being number 2 in the whole country at the end of the second
Really.
year.
Wow.
And
That's
I got a
amazing.
bunch
From
of
last to number 2.
yeah, I got a bunch of awards, and I was recognized a lot. They even had me on one of their commercials. It was pretty
Really?
cool, dude. Yeah. It was
So was the money better when you went from position to position to position?
no. So I made more as a technician than I did as a manager.
Really?
Yep. The bonuses were nice as a manager, but you had to wait till December to
Yeah.
get it. You
Once a
know,
year
so
bonuses. Yeah.
and you might get it. My first year, I didn't get any bonus because the team was so bad that we
Mhm.
lost so much money.
Yeah.
So when I came in, the team didn't have equipment, they didn't have product, they didn't
Yeah.
have anything they needed to do their
So
job.
that goes against your spend and all
Yep.
that because you had to
So
buy everything.
my
Yeah.
first order, I remember, usually orders are like $10,000 to $15,000. My first order was 45 grand.
Oh wow.
So, and the next order was the same because I'm
And
like,
that
dude, I
kills
had
your budget. Yeah.
kills the budget.
Yeah.
I didn't get any bonus, and then affects you for the next year. But the next year, I got a nice bonus. I mean, it was, I forgot what it was, but it was nicer than the one I got the year before, which is
Sure.
nothing,
Nothing.
you
Yeah.
know. So, but and then from there, I honestly got sick, dude. From like, I think even my sister-in-laws, and like my parents, they knew like I was just working so much. I was sleeping in my truck, dude, like in my work truck,
So what kind of hours were you working a week?
just all day,
All day.
like literally from. And if any of my old team members were here, they'll tell you, like, dude, like, yeah, I was working all day, you know.
Mhm.
I ran into one of them in the field, and he took a selfie with me,
Mhm.
and he posted on his Instagram while I was working for
Yeah.
Left Coast, and he said something nice. He's like, dude, this is the best manager I've ever had. Like nobody is ever gonna top this dude,
Mhm.
and it made me feel good. I'm like, that's pretty cool, you
Yeah.
know,
That
that
he
he
was willing
still
to share that.
remembers, you
Yeah.
know.
So what was the turning point to go from a major company to starting your own thing?
So there was a lot, dude. So like I started like I was so burnt out. Like I ended up going from the district manager position, and then my old manager from the field training, he said, "Hey, Javi, like, can you please come back? Like, like I want you back on my team."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Please, dude, like, get me out of this," you know.
Was
So
that a step down in responsibility?
it was kind of a lateral move at the
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So um, just because it's not a different division, but it's like I guess in power, yeah, because I don't
Mhm.
have anybody under me, you
Sure.
know. So my pay stayed the same, so it was cool. I don't see it as a downgrade.
Mhm.
But so when I was burnt out, I was happy again at the field training position. And then they said, so the field training position was spending so much money, like that little division that we had,
Mhm.
that they ended up doing away with the position. So they
Okay.
said, I worked there for 6 months, and they said, "Hey, dude,
We're gonna get
sorry,
rid of
like
it.
we're getting rid of it. You have to be a manager again,"
Okay.
And I was just like,
So where we left off at, they took away your position at Ecolab. So
"Yeah, they took it
you
away."
went back. So for 6 months, you went back to being a field training, something
Yeah,
or
and I was
other.
happy again.
Yeah.
So because I was so burnt out of being a district manager, so
Yeah.
I went back to being a manager, and they called it something else, field operations manager or
Uh
something
huh.
like that. So, anyways, I was super like unhappy, and I was just like, I was just over it because I just didn't want to do that anymore. I was
Yeah.
just that team, like that LA thing, just burned me out, dude.
Yeah.
And I was right back
I've
in
been there.
there, and I told myself, I'm like, I can't do this again, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. And I ended up at the time, me and Des, like, we were already engaged,
Hmm.
and I I remember, and it's a funny story. I don't think anybody would think it's funny except for me. But I went to so for our wedding, dude, and you asked me like how I decided I wanted to open up
Yeah.
Left Coast. So for our wedding day, I remember my parents. They, by the way, guys, like me and Des paid for our wedding.
Mhm.
Like I used the house money from
Yeah.
selling it to pay for our wedding.
Mhm.
Um, I had some money left over, and the rest was used for Left Coast. But I was at my parents rented us an Airbnb, a huge like Airbnb. So in Temecula in the wineries, like
Mhm.
a beautiful house, dude. I've
Mhm.
never been in a house like that. Okay, so it was like now I go in them all the time because they spray them,
Yeah.
But um, I was in there, and they got that so the family can stay. My sisters, her family,
Mhm.
it was that big that we can all stay, and the kitchen was huge. And I remember when we pulled up to the house, I was looking at it, and I was like, how do people afford this crap, dude? Like,
Mhm.
what the heck? I thought only like famous rich people can buy stuff like this,
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
like, and I'm in the house, and I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, how do I get here, dude? I'm not there yet, by the way, but like I want to be, but I'm like, how do people get to this? And like, what does this guy do? I want to know what he
Well,
does.
let me stop right there. You could be there. You are there. You choose not to be there. You choose, like, the things I know about you, you choose to do things in a different way. If you chose to be super heavy in debt, you could be there.
Yeah,
That's where you could be. But you
yep.
decide that you don't want to live
And
with
you know
debt
what?
over
My
your
wife
head.
always
Yeah.
tells me that, dude.
Yeah.
Des always tells me,
Yeah.
she's like, you could,
Yeah.
but you're not stupid.
Yeah.
And I like the way, like, a lot of people always talk about, and this is kind of off subject, but
These flies are killing us. We're dying in
yeah.
here. This is not a reflection on his pest control. I promise.
We don't
Yeah.
do fly treatments here.
Yeah.
But the
Was that a thing?
um, it can be, but
Okay.
like right here, you have the cows.
Yeah,
It's
you're
normal,
not
dude.
getting rid of
It's
them. Yeah,
normal.
you're not getting
Yeah,
rid of them. Yeah.
it's like one of those things like selling snake oil right here.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
but where was I right now?
Oh fuck. We're talking about how you're starting it. You were at the Airbnb, but I was telling you that you could live in that giant house
Oh
in
yeah,
the wine country, but you choose not to because you don't want to be full of debt.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be full of debt, and it's very scary being a business owner and
Yeah.
having debt because it's just scary being a business owner in
Yeah.
the beginning, dude. Like forever, it's
Yeah.
always scary, dude. Like
It's very scary.
you lose sleep, and that's something we didn't talk about, how freaking stressful it is. Like,
Yeah.
and I think everybody always sees the good. It is good,
Yeah.
but it's also very very bad, dude. And so anyway, so I don't get sidetracked.
Yeah.
I was at the Airbnb, and my whole wedding day, it was one of my favorite days of all time. Like, it was the happiest day ever. But I remember when we were up there saying our vows and
Mhm.
stuff, all I can think about was like, I'm about to marry this girl, dude. Like, and we're in a 680 square foot apartment right now, like, that I can barely afford.
So you sold your house to
And
move to an apartment
yep,
that you
because
rented.
yep, that I rented, and I was paying from $700 a month to um $1,500 a month. My apartment was.
So what was the decision? Why did you sell your house to kind of downgrade it and increase your costs?
Dude, my house. So the reason why I sold that house, and not only did we have a bunch of equity on it,
Mhm.
and by a bunch I mean we bought it for 105 and I sold it for 250.
Okay.
You know, to me
Yeah.
at the time I was like, dude, like that's a no brainer. You
Yeah.
know, never seen money like that before.
Yeah.
So I ended up I'm gonna kill this thing. I ended up selling the house because my neighbors were crazy, dude. I would get my there you go, dude. You're gonna get it?
I think I got it.
No, it's right here.
Oh,
Ended up selling the house, so my neighbors would steal my packages.
no.
Literally,
Where in
dude.
San Jacinto do you live?
Next to, do you remember where they had the Wobble Grill?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, right there. They don't have a Wobble Grill no more.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
It's too.
That's where I lived.
Oh, really?
What neighborhood? What was it called?
It was a 55 plus neighborhood, dude. And they
Oh,
let
so
us
you
buy
live
there.
behind it,
Yeah,
like by the school, by the college.
by the elementary school. You know where that's at?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right there.
In those mobile homes?
No. It's a 55 plus neighborhood. They let me buy a house there.
Oh, north.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know how the hell they let me buy
Right
a house
across the
there.
street from the high. So I lived in the neighborhood where the school was.
Oh, shoot. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I lived there for 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Dang, we probably lived right next to each other.
Probably. Well, I was also driving over here the whole time, every day.
Crazy.
So
To this property?
Yeah. So when
Oh,
you
dang.
when you were probably driving to Starbucks, I was driving from here to here. It's the exact same drive.
Small world, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. We
Yeah.
probably drove by each other
A
bunch of
million
times.
times. Yeah.
So one of the nights where I decided like I don't want this freaking house anymore. My neighbor, they were outside with a gun, and my little sister was over, and Des were inside my house,
Yeah.
and we were about to go bowling or something.
Mhm.
And I was scared. I was like, dude, you guys need a duck. Like,
Yeah.
what if this guy shoots through the window or something? He wasn't aiming towards us, but our houses were so close together that they were outside arguing. He was waving a gun around.
Oh shit.
And I go out there with my Ecolab flashlight.
Yeah.
It was
Maglite.
Maglite.
Mhm.
And I was shining in the dude's face. I'm like, if he tries to shoot me, at least maybe he won't see me.
Yeah.
You know. And then I'm shining in his face. I'm like, hey, dude, like, can you please put the gun down? Like, you know, whatever. I'm gonna call the cops. Whatever. I did call the cops. He ended up hiding underneath my truck, my work truck,
Mhm.
and they pulled him out of there. I saw the cops doing that. And the cops were yelling at me to get inside.
Mhm.
And in my head, I'm like, why am I living like this, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck, man? You know.
So even though you were a homeowner already, but it was an upgrade for you to get out of that
Yeah,
neighborhood.
dude, it was a super upgrade. And what is it? So we moved to an apartment in Murrieta, and
Charlie moved on up.
yeah, moved on up, dude. Yeah, pretty much. And but I was paying $1,500 a month now, which
a
was
big
double,
difference. Yeah.
double, you know. And what is it? And the apartment we had, dude, that was for like a dude that just got thrown out of his house, like, and he has to go somewhere.
Mhm.
It was so freaking small, dude.
Mhm.
Like, no matter, like, if I had an argument with Dez or whatever, like,
There's nowhere to leave.
yeah, there's
you were
nowhere to
stuck.
go. The living room's right here, the room's right there, the kitchen's right there, like,
Yeah.
nowhere to go, dude. You don't have no privacy, none of that. You know,
Mhm.
we didn't have a garage. But yeah, we lived there, and but that's what we came home to after our wedding.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our mattress was on the floor, you know, like, and we came home to that, and I couldn't stop thinking while we were getting married, like, how am I going to take care of her, dude? Like, I can't even buy a freaking house right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's impossible. And
What year is that? Do you remember?
this is in 2019.
Oh, so the market had already been back.
This is when I decided I'm gonna do left
Yeah.
coast, is literally like during our wedding. And
I gotta say something real quick.
yeah,
I'm a big proponent of this. So up until probably about 6 months ago, I'm gonna do a little bit of stunting. I had like a $5,000 mattress. I've talked about this in public before, so I don't mind. My mattress was wild expensive.
yeah,
Up until last year, I had that bad boy on the ground, hood style, son.
yeah.
Because I like it. But
There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
it, dude. I never
but-
saw
yeah,
anything wrong with it.
yeah,
you
but
know?
I'm starting to get old, and it's hard to get up off and down on the ground. My wife got tired of it, so we finally bought just like a cheap whatever. But yeah, dude, I had a $300 pillow
Yeah.
on the ground, dog.
Dude, our room
balling
was
out.
our room was so small in the apartment that if
Yeah.
I had a bed frame in there, it would make it even smaller.
Well,
You
yeah,
know, so
yeah. So you guys moved from San Antonio. You sold your house. You moved to an apartment, and then what was the actual decision to start your own company?
so that I just want to take care of my wife, dude.
Okay.
Like, I really did, and I knew.
So
no matter how many years
was there no opportunity to grow at Ecolab until like a $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year job
No,
there?
No. So
And that's what it takes to live in California. We're
Yeah.
not saying if you don't make that much, you're not living, but in
It is.
California, 200,000 is kind of now the average. And
a household
yeah.
income, yeah.
and it's like, if was Des working at the time?
Yeah, she
Right.
was a preschool teacher.
Okay.
Yep. And what's crazy is, like, Yeah, pretty much I just want to take care of my wife, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how am I going to do it? It's going to take me so many years of saving, and I
Mm.
can barely even save anything now.
Yeah.
And I just want to get out of this apartment, you know? So um, we ended up, when I started Left Coast, we ended up moving to a bigger apartment, right? And this one, I actually loved that apartment. We had a garage,
Mm.
we had a parking space, and then we started outgrowing it because we had like three vehicles with our logos on it there.
Oh,
And,
so you actually started it while you were in those apartments.
yeah. Uh-huh.
That's pretty
And that
cool.
was a move on up when we moved to the bigger apartment, right?
Was that still in
It
Marietta?
was Temecula now.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the apartment complex was like, "Hey, dude, you can't have these commercial vehicles here. You know, you got to get them out." I would be in my work truck. The windows are tinted, and the neighbors would come out and take pictures to send to the office because they're pissed that I'm parked there. You know,
That sucks.
I know it sucked. And then they were mad that my garage wasn't used for my car. I was using it to like
Store your stuff.
store my stuff.
Yeah.
And I get it. I was like, all right, whatever. So I ended up getting a storage unit, moved everything out,
Mhm.
and but during that time, like, luckily, we outgrew the apartment too, and we lived there for 2 years, I think, at the Temecula apartment. And then we ended up renting a house here in Menifee,
Mhm.
and the house was like a huge upgrade, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our garage. It was a 2-story house, nice house, and it was just me and Des. So like it was too big for us, you know.
Mhm.
So, um, but it was cool. Like that's where I started my family, dude.
So when you're living in an apartment and you're owning a business with employees, you said you had 3 trucks at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I bet most people probably thought you're some rich guy and you have all because your trucks have probably always been
No, my
nice.
employees
Yeah.
would come meet me at my apartment,
Yeah.
and they did come to
They'd
my
be
little
like,
garage. It'd be like, "Oh, here's some product, dude," you
yeah,
know? And they're probably thinking like, "Dude, this is my
yeah,
boss.
we work for this guy
Yeah,
that
we
lives in
work
an
for this
apartment.
dude."
Yeah.
And I didn't care. I
Yeah.
was like, "Whatever, dude. I got to
Yeah.
do what I got to do," you
Yeah.
know? And I remember when we hired our first employee, dude, like it was, by the way, my first employee started a fire in the van, by the way, but yeah, it's crazy. But I hired my first employee, and I saved up enough money to pay this guy for the full year
Oh, wow.
because I didn't have enough work for him. So I
Mhm.
said, I want to hire this guy because there's days where I really need him, you know? So
Mhm.
I'm like, I want to save up all this money um, to be able to pay him even if he doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want him to just quit on me. And then
Sure.
because we were
Because
growing
you're
at the
yeah,
time.
and if you're slow or whatever and you don't pay,
Exactly.
yeah.
And anyways, I ended up, it was crazy, man. Like what we've gone through to get our team that we have now.
Mhm.
Like our team is so solid right now. Like everybody's solid that works here, dude. Like
Mhm.
I feel like they're all happy, and we try to make it that way. They know that I'm out there grinding,
Yeah.
like I'm not just at home sitting down or doing anything. Like
Yeah.
I'm out there putting in more hours. I'm out there at night still. Like I'm doing what I got to
Yeah.
do, and they know that. So that's why I think like
But how do you think that affects like your personal life, like the work life balance of it? Because you work with your wife. Your wife helps. She runs like the office kind of stuff for you,
Mhm.
right? And then you're out there. I mean, I remember one of the things I'll never forget is you're out there on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Out there hustling and working on 4th of July. Were your guys working on 4th of July?
No,
Yeah,
just
just
me.
you. Yeah.
So the way I see holidays
Yeah.
is everybody gets paid, right?
Mhm.
Except for me. So I lose money on
Yeah.
holidays. So
Got to make that money
I
back.
got to make the money back.
Yeah.
So the way I see it, like I'm not making that money because I'm out there working,
Yeah.
So um, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 6 including me, that are getting paid every single day. So I'm like, I got to make at least half of what I'm paying them
Sure.
to only lose half of that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you don't own a business, like a lot of people think that, I don't know what people think, but they think holidays are like whatever, It's like,
Yeah.
no, it costs a lot of money.
I've talked about that a lot. Like, I don't have any employees right now, but last year or the year before, I had like 3 employees, and for me to take a vacation, everyone like because I worked recently. I worked like 2 years straight without taking anything but maybe a Saturday or a Sunday off. And I wanted to take time off to go on vacation, but we would talk to people about it, like, "Oh, just take the time off. You own the business." And I was like, "Yeah, but for me to take the time off, now I lose all the money."
Dude, I get
It's like it
anxiety.
cost me
Yeah.
thousands of dollars just to take the time off because I had the employees to pay
Yeah.
the whole time, right?
Dude, I get
Yeah,
anxiety just like, I don't know, like just sitting at home, like
yeah,
when I have a day off or
yeah,
whatever's going on, like I'm just like, I'm losing money right now.
yeah,
Like I need to get out and
yeah,
do something. I'll go out on the weekend with Valentino. We've gone to
yeah,
neighborhoods where we're walking around putting door hangers
yeah.
still. I just did this last week.
Really?
And I'm out there putting door hangers still. I'm like, we need to get more clients. We need to
Yeah,
get more clients. It never stops,
yeah,
because um you still need to get the work, and you still need to keep these guys
yeah,
busy. And that's a
yeah,
stress that I think any business owner with employees is going to have forever. And that's
Yeah.
a stress that nobody knows except
Yeah.
for a business owner.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
how do I keep these guys
Yeah.
busy? How do I keep money rolling in? You
Yeah.
know, because um, when it's slow, it's easy to say, "Oh, we're just slow, dude." You
Yeah.
know, whatever. It's like, no, dude. I want these guys to get these hours, and I
Yeah.
want them to get overtime. I want them to get what they want. You
Yeah.
know, so that way they can stay here, and I
Yeah.
can take care of them. You know, so um, I'm taking care of my
So
family, but I'm also taking
yeah.
care of all theirs.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
so
Yeah.
it's
It,
super hard.
it seems like you value your employees. Like you want them to do well as well.
Oh
So
yeah,
that
dude.
stay happy and stay with you, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like that's like the most important thing. Dude, without them, like, I mean, what the hell am I gonna do? You
Yeah.
know, like literally, like I can't do.
Yeah.
There was a time where we had, I don't know how many employees. One of them went to Border Patrol, right? Great move,
Mhm.
cool, go. The other one moved, and the other one got his old job back that let him go during COVID. And by the way, I started my business during COVID, you
Yeah.
know, which is freaking horrible. But one of them got his old job back, so we lost everybody, dude. And it was just me and Dez.
And you still had to work for that amount of
Yeah,
people. Yeah.
and Dez is like, dude, like I can't believe we made it through that, you know,
Yeah.
because me and her literally all day in the field, all day at night.
Mhm.
Like there was days where she came with me at night still, and then there was days that she didn't because she was so tired. But I would literally wake up at 6 in the morning, get home at 7 p.m. From work. She'd make me dinner. We both ate real quick, and we knew at 9 p.m. I was gonna leave again and go do the restaurants, and I'll be back home at 3 in the morning. Same thing again, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Wake up, 3 hours of sleep. Wake up,
Yeah.
go do the same thing. And I did that for 2.5 years straight, you know, of
Wow.
doing that. And I was so burned out. And it's crazy to think like right now, I don't know if I can do that again, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going through a very similar thing. So, my actual job, I am in engineering, and when we were developing a new product that we have, myself, the former owner of their company, and our other engineer, we worked 7 days a week for about 18 months,
Jeez.
and we were working. It was Monday through Friday. It was like 8 to 8. Saturday was probably like 8 to 6, and Sunday was probably like 8 to 3.
Hmm.
And we did that for almost 2 years to rapidly develop a product and then put it out. Luckily, we were able to get it done, but because of that, it has burned me out so bad on working those kind of hours. I have such a hard time doing it now.
Yeah.
And like recently, I've started to go back in the field and start doing field service for that company, and I've seen like how much income it can make. And I'm trying to get back out there and do that. I'm trying to push myself back into that
Hmm.
uncomfortable position in order to grow as a person and a business person, and to grow my business where I want it to be again. But man, it's hard to do that. I think once you experience that kind of burnout, it's hard to put yourself in
Dude,
that position again.
I don't think, and for those that are
Yeah.
listening, like the burnout we're talking
Yeah.
about, it's not like a burnout where you're like tired from the week from
Yeah.
working your 40-hour job.
Yeah.
No, this is 100 and something hours, no
Yeah.
matter what, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, and if you don't do it, guess what? You're gonna fail. Like, ooh,
Ooh,
dang, that
I
was
am the bug
nice.
beast now.
You can start on Monday, dude. Tomorrow.
Woo! I got me a job. I started this as an interview. This was really a work interview.
Yeah, good job, dude. You got it.
Um,
I'm gonna tell you what Rowdy told me, dude. That's gonna be your position.
yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
it's just like the burnout.
Yeah.
It's almost like a trauma, dude. And I hate using those kind of TikTok words where
I'm with
people,
you,
you know,
yeah.
like
It is though.
it is like
Yeah.
I do not want to go through that again, dude. Like it was so hard to get out of it. So when
Yeah.
people ask me a question like, "Do you ever wish you can go back in time?" I'm like, "No, I don't,"
Yeah.
because I love my life the way it is
Yeah.
right now. Like this at this very time, like my life is so good, dude. Like my team is good, my wife is good, my kid is good, and like everything's going
Yeah.
good. And the scary thing about business is when everything is going good, dude,
Something
everything
happens,
turns
yeah.
to shit, you know?
Well, I think you don't you don't get to see where you are unless you've been where you were.
Mhm.
So like those crazy hours and working that terrible schedule and pushing yourself makes you realize that where you are is like a blessing. It's a good place to
Oh
be
yeah,
there. You know
it's
what I mean?
crazy. Even just
Yeah.
me when I wake up in the morning, like now I think like I can't believe I slept all night.
Yeah.
You know, like that's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Like and now Des even says it like, dude, like you would have been like out like at night still, you know,
Mhm.
like it's crazy. And I don't know, man, like I said, like it is like a trauma, like thinking about like you might have to do that again. And
Mhm.
I'm like trying to stay away from that,
Yeah.
man, because right now, especially now that we have our son, you
Mhm.
know, he's 2, and I would hate to not be able to be there while they're
Yeah, for
sleeping and
sure.
stuff,
Yeah.
you know. So um it's something I don't want to do. Like, for example, tomorrow I'm leaving at 4:30 in the morning to Bakersfield,
Yeah.
so
So
um,
I wanted to talk about that. I saw your post about it, and the person in Bakersfield contacted you because they know that you're good at what you do, and
mhm.
they're an existing customer, right?
They're an OG
Yeah,
customer, and normally I would just say no. If
yeah.
it was like a random person that said, "Hey, dude," I'm like, "No, I don't do that area. Sorry,"
That's funny. That's what I wanted to
Yeah,
ask because like sometimes going above and beyond for your customers is not worth it for your mental health, but also for your business
yeah.
because. Unless I don't know much about your business, but I don't believe there's any possible way you could recoup going to Bakersfield tomorrow.
No, I'm losing money all day
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah,
So all day I'm gonna lose
yeah,
money. Whatever happens down here has to wait,
yeah,
and it sucks. But
yeah.
for this customer, like I would do it for him because
Did they help you get to a place where you
yes,
wanted to
for
be when
sure.
you were starting out?
So when I started
Yeah.
out, I was door knocking restaurants,
Mhm.
right? And one of my friends, she goes, "Hey, why don't you go ask them?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I go
Yeah.
ask. He's like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "Hey, I have 8 restaurants. Can you do them all?" Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And never bugged me since that day, dude.
Yeah.
He tells me I do a good job. I've solved his issues, do whatever he needs since day one. He's been my customer. It's gonna be 6 years now, and
So he's still with you, but
oh yeah,
he has another
he
place
has
in
he's
Bakersfield.
growing too. So he
Okay.
opened up a location that's having issues in Bakersfield, and when he called me, I was like, "Oh no, like I don't
Yeah.
want to go out there, man." But I'm like, "But it's him. Like I
Yeah.
have to do it, you know." Like,
Yeah.
and even Des was like, "You're gonna have to do it, dude." You
Yeah.
know, like they hook us up, and by hooking us up means like they're loyal, you know,
Yeah.
like, and anybody that's loyal to me, like I'm loyal to them, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever they need, I'll do it.
I wish I knew you were going up there. I have a reason to go to Bakersfield too, but
Need me to pick something
I
up?
know I can't. I have to drop something off, but I don't have it's not going to be ready in
Oh,
time.
that
But
sucks.
yeah, it's
I don't want.
yeah.
And by the way, like I really don't want to go, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. You know,
Yeah, I
like,
mean that's part of being a
and I'm gonna
business
spend my
owner.
whole
Yeah.
day out there
Yeah.
tomorrow. So
I've done the same thing. I've done it, but even worse. Like I have when my business is in the slow point right now. We're kind of revamping. I'm getting ready. I'm gonna release some new products. Getting ready to do some new marketing. But when we were really, really rolling, the reason we were rolling is I was traveling 6 months out of the year out of state
mhm.
to really build this. And if we had an issue with a machine with one of our devices, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let's try to fix it over the phone. I'd be like, where are you at? You're in Dallas. Okay, give me 3 days. I'll be there.
Yeah,
Can you wait 3 days? Because I'll drive 24 hours straight, and I've done it countless times straight to Dallas or straight to somewhere in Texas to get this customer up and going again because they had so much value to us. They were a major brand with major amount of locations and people, and they were putting a lot of money into our pockets monthly. So it was worth it for us to go out there. And I think because of that, I have such a good reputation in the industry that people know that I go above and beyond. So when we do have issues, they usually let me slide. Like,
yeah,
hey, you don't got to come right away, but
mhm.
I'm letting you know we have a problem. Let's figure out how to fix it. We know that you're going to do it, right? And I think that really helps your business grow.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then like the Bakersfield customer,
yeah,
he's such a good customer, man. Like by good customer, I mean he listens to my advice.
yeah,
If something needs to be fixed that I can't do, he does
yeah,
it, and he lets me do my thing because he knows that I'm the professional. You know,
yeah,
like he doesn't argue with me, and we've been working together for 6 years, and it's been a good time. And like I said, he could have asked me to go to San Francisco, and I would
yeah,
have tried to figure it out. You
yeah, for
know,
sure.
so um, but yeah, I have plenty of
Yeah.
customers like that, man.
Well, I
And
mean, I've experienced that with you. Like, I would never use another pest control company ever again. Like,
oh,
we're
thank you, dude.
friends, but
Yeah.
also like you're really good at what you do. And a couple months, or maybe last summer or something like that, we are doing something in the front, trying to get rid of the weeds or whatever.
Oh, the bees.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
bees. And I just hit you up, and I was like, hey, we got bees. Whenever you come, it's cool.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I'm driving by. I'll be like in 15 minutes. And you came and treated the bees and
I remember
gone
you
before.
called
Yeah.
me and I was grabbing gas or something right
Oh,
here.
were you
Yeah.
really? Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It works perfect. And it's like you don't get that kind of customer service from most companies, right?
yeah.
They're not willing to do that. And I think that's what sets you apart. And I've made posts just because I like what you do and I like how you've helped me. So I'll make a post randomly about you. Every time I make a post about your business, other people that use you hit me up and like that's the best. That's one of the best companies I've ever worked with in
That's
any
cool.
company.
And dude, it makes me
Constantly.
yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah.
I it makes me feel good when people tell
Yeah.
me that because that's what I wanted. So
Yeah.
when I first started my business, like everybody thinks different. Like it depends on how you go into going your business.
Yeah.
Like if you start your business and you think, "Oh, I'm going to be rich, dude."
Yeah.
Like you're not, you know?
Yeah.
And what is it? You might be eventually, you know, but like I remember I wasn't collecting any money because I wasn't thinking about any money, dude.
You were out there doing the work, but you weren't doing the receivables
I
part
wanted
of it.
people to
Yeah.
be happy, dude.
Yeah.
Like I remember I would do people's cockroach jobs, like
Mhm.
nasty cockroach jobs, and
Mhm.
I'd say, "Hey, can I do it for you? And if you're not happy with it, I won't charge you."
Mhm.
You know? And I would literally risk it. Like
Yeah.
everybody paid me, but they could have just been like, "Sorry, dude, I didn't
Yeah.
like it," and lied, you
Yeah.
know? But I just wanted to put myself out there,
Yeah.
and then I was doing stuff for free, spraying stuff, and I'm like, "Hey, if you switch to me, dude, I'll do your first month for free," even though I was losing a bunch of money. But then they switch over and they always say like, "Hey, dude, you're actually like really good. You know, like your team is really good." And the girl I talked to, like when you call her number, you're either gonna get my wife or
Yeah.
Rachel on the line, and they're both great. You know,
Yeah.
like you're not gonna get a random robot that's gonna talk to you and tell
Yeah.
you like, "Hey, dude, like sorry, we can't do it," or "Sorry, dude, you weren't home, but we charged you anyways." It
Yeah.
doesn't work like that. And I wanted my company to be. There's a lot of pest control companies, dude, but I want to be a little different. You know,
Yeah.
and the customer service side is a lot different on
Yeah.
our side because I can assure you when there's an issue, me and Des don't sleep at night, dude,
Yeah, for sure.
because we're just
Yeah.
like, I can't believe so and so is upset right now. Like, I mean, we're not perfect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes things get missed. Um, we've been dude, the craziest one, and I'll talk about it really quick,
Mhm.
is Des was in the field working, and we scheduled a flea treatment for somebody at their house,
Mhm.
and they got everything ready for us. Des lost the key to the van, to the service vehicle, and I had to be at a different treatment. So we had to call and reschedule that customer, and she was so mad at us, dude. But because it sounded like a fake story,
Yeah.
like literally the key was lost. We had our whole house flipped, and me and her were just like upset. Like it was crazy. Ended
Mhm.
up being in a lunch bag, dude. It was crazy, but I'll never forget that time because like it's not like we didn't care.
Yeah.
Like we were trying to do anything we could to be
To get
there.
there, yeah.
I even said like, "Hey, dude, like, how about I do this one? Then I drive all the way back over here from San Bernardino to Temecula,
Mhm.
and then I go back, and it
Yeah.
just didn't work."
Yeah.
And the person was so upset with us. And then afterwards, like, we still got the job done. I
Mhm.
forgot how the hell we ended up doing it,
Yeah.
but they were happy about it. But like that's how it is. Like
Yeah.
that moment that I'm talking about, you had to be there to see it. Is like shows like, dude, like
Yeah.
people actually freaking care about what they're doing out
Yeah.
there, you know?
And
So
hopefully you have the customers that see that because I run into that kind of stuff often, especially when I'm doing field service. Because like what I do when I do field service, you can't just go buy the stuff. Probably much like the stuff you use, you can't
mhm.
just go buy it.
No.
So like if I'm somewhere and I forgot a part or we needed something we didn't expect, I might have to drive hours to go get a part to go back and repair somebody's stuff. But usually if I go do that and tell someone, "Hey, I'm gonna be back in 3 hours and finish this job," they'll freak out for a second and then realize that I'm leaving because I have to, not because I want to, and I'm gonna come back and finish it. And then you gain customers for life.
Yeah.
Hopefully that customer is still with you, or if they are, they're a good customer, hopefully. But
Yeah. And then what's cool about customers too
yeah.
is when I started my business, my whole friend group changed.
Mhm.
Just because like I wasn't around anymore. I
Yeah.
was just working all the time, you
Yeah.
know? So my customers, like I became really good friends with some of my customers. Like some of them are my best friends. Like for example, I post them every day almost. Brian Ware from One Day Raps. Like
Okay. Yeah.
one of my one of my really good friends, and he actually was introduced to me by Twitch, the
Hmm.
freestyle motocross
Yeah.
rider. Twitch was my very first customer ever. He signed up the very
That's
first
amazing.
day. I text him like, "Hey, dude, I started my own company." He's like, "Okay, cool. I just called and canceled this guy.
Yeah.
You're doing my house now."
Yeah.
And then he posted me online, and then because of him, dude, I got so many freaking customers,
Yeah.
including Brian. Brian posted me, and Brian's like the freaking mayor of Temecula,
Hmm.
and I didn't know that at the time. And people were hitting us up left and right. They still do, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? You know, like, and then people just like, and this is very off subject, but when people ask me like, how do you, what should I do when I start my business, or should I start a business? You know, I think everything you've done in your life, like even from growing up, especially if we live in that same area, everything you've done, everything you've said, everything you've done, like if you're one of those dudes that like is just out there drinking,
Yeah.
doing stupid things, and you're like the clown or whatever, you start a business, dude, that's what people are gonna see.
100%.
No matter if you flipped your life around,
Yeah.
you're not doing the drugs, you're not doing
Yeah.
that thing, like people are gonna remember, hey
Yeah.
dude, like this guy started a pest company, but remember he used to do meth? You know,
Yeah.
like
There's
it's just
a
different.
there's a saying in the world, and it's like if you're with five idiots, you're the sixth,
Exactly.
right?
So whenever I always tell them now, like, how are you with people? You know,
Yeah.
like, do people like you? Pretty much. It's an honest question.
Yeah.
It's a hard question to answer, but
Yeah.
it's an honest question. It's like, do people like you, dude?
Yeah.
Like, really think about it and be honest with yourself. Like, are you a likable person? Because
Yeah.
if you're not, if you have a bad reputation,
It's gonna follow you.
it's
Yeah.
gonna follow you, dude. No
Yeah.
matter how much of a nicer person you are.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those memes that people post, like, oh, like this high school bully is trying to sell me Avon now or
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like that, and it's
Yeah.
true, dude. Like
Yeah.
it goes, and luckily, like I didn't know I was gonna start a business growing up. Never even thought it. Like I said, I thought I was gonna be a cop, but I was always really nice to everybody.
Yeah.
I always put myself in uncomfortable situations where I was going to like people's houses and like meeting new people, and people saw that and were like, why do you do that? Like, who cares about that? You know,
Yeah.
like just hang out with your family and stuff like that. I'm glad I didn't. Like, I love my family and everything, but I really like made a lot of friends. And then once I opened my business, like all those friends, all those people that I've met, they're
Yeah.
all like, let's just sign up with this dude, you know?
So a lot of people don't realize it, but college is not so much to get an education.
That's a
College is
huge
about
network.
it's a networking. That's where college is really, really important.
Yeah.
And for guys like us who aren't college people particularly, like that's what you get.
Mhm.
You get a network. And if you build this network outside of college, or if you build a group of friends like that, from what I can see on the internet, it looks like all your friends will die for you. Like
Oh yeah,
all
dude.
these dudes are all about trying to help each other. And you guys are all promoting each other's businesses. And like when I first met you, like when we first started really talking, I saw that right away.
Mhm.
And I was like, how do I build a friend group like this? Like I have a really good friend group. But I think I'm the only business. I guess Jonah owns a business too, but like I'm the only person doing what I do. And I think in order to grow, you have to have this group of like-minded individuals that want to grow and stuff with you. And I think that's super important.
Oh,
you
your
know?
friend group is
Yeah.
like a huge
Actually,
factor.
everybody, all my friends own businesses. I don't know what I'm thinking
Dude,
about.
it's a huge factor
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like you can
yeah,
like you can relate on everything.
yeah.
And these guys will help with whatever. Like for example, he's one of your customers, Michael Yup
Oh
from
yeah,
Yup Boy Motorsports.
yeah,
Bet you I can put him on speaker, call him,
yeah,
and be like, "Hey, dude, can you please help me with this right now?" And
yeah,
he'll be like, "Okay, cool, I'll go right now," or
yeah,
"I'll send somebody,"
yeah,
or something. You know,
yeah,
and it's like guaranteed. But it's just having these like really good people. And if I didn't have all these good people around me, dude, I don't think I would be
yeah.
motivated. You know?
Yeah, but I think you also built that. You collected good people because you're a good person, and I think that really helps you. If you're a terrible person, it's hard to build that rep.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to build that network that you
If
have.
you're
Yeah,
a terrible person, the business isn't gonna work, you know.
yeah,
And I'm not extremely religious,
yeah,
but I do believe in God, and I feel like if you're a terrible person, dude, nothing's gonna work out,
yeah,
you know, at the very end.
yeah.
So,
I
and maybe he's rewarding Des or something, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but
She's reaping the benefits of
she's
your
reaping the
work. Yeah,
benefits. Like I'm glad I
yeah,
have her because
yeah,
whatever good juju she
yeah,
has, like I got, and
yeah,
it's pretty crazy,
yeah.
dude. Like I said earlier, dude, like
No,
the good partner, like goes a long ways, especially somebody if you feel like you're supported,
yeah,
especially as a man, like you
yeah,
feel supported by somebody and they agree with you and they'll ride with you to the very
yeah,
end, like cool. Because she always tells me like whenever we have our very very bad days, she'll tell me like, dude, we'll go back to our 680 square foot apartment and I'll be happy. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. Like, don't trip. We don't need
yeah.
any of this, you
Yeah,
know?
I think that's how I got lucky.
Yeah.
I got a very similar thing.
She doesn't buy nothing
Yeah,
fancy. She doesn't want nothing fancy. Like, and not that that matters, but I'm just like, it's cool because I don't need to keep up.
yeah,
You know, like I don't feel like I need to keep up,
yeah,
dude. Like I don't. She's not asking me for an Escalade
yeah.
or anything like that. She doesn't care.
Every
She's
time I ever see her, she's driving one of your work trucks.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what she wants.
yeah.
And then
They're nice
she'll
trucks.
no, they're nice. Her Ranger's cool. I love that
Yeah,
little truck.
yeah.
That used to be my work truck, remember? And
What are you driving now? Do you drive this
I
truck?
have one of the other Rangers.
Oh,
So
okay.
anytime
You have like a normal Ranger
I have a
now.
normal Ranger,
Okay.
extended cab.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anytime I get a new vehicle, like for one of the guys, I get their old one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they have the new stuff.
Yeah.
So that way they're reliable and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that, you know, because I'd rather break down than them break
Sure.
down. But I've been telling Des like, hey, do you want a mom car? By mom car, I mean like a SUV. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, we can try to get one. She's like, no, like I really don't. And she'll be like, if you get rid of my truck, I'm gonna be pretty upset. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool with me.
Yeah. There's a bunch of other things I want to talk about, but I try to keep these around like an hour and 15, hour and 20, just to keep people interested the whole time. But I have a question for you. You probably weren't prepared for. It's on the business side of things, and hopefully it just makes you think. If you don't have an answer right now, it's okay. But in my experience, and if you talk to most other people in business at high level businesses, I've been super lucky to be able to meet CEOs and presidents of these big of giant companies. One of my business partners is a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company,
Mhm.
and he's taught me a lot of things directly and through other people. And one of the things he taught me was like, you build a business for two reasons. There's only two reasons to build a business. It's to pass it down or to sell it. What do you think the end goal is for you and Left Coast? Do you think your goal is to try to get absorbed by like not Ecolab, but let's say a company like Ecolab or a giant like Terminex or something like that? Or do you think you want to try to build it and pass it down to your son, or hopefully your wife outlives you, you pass it to her, and then
Hmm.
it goes to your son or something like that? Would it?
Guarantee you Des is gonna outlive me, dude.
Yeah,
But what is it?
yeah,
So I've always thought about that because I've been asked that before. Like,
yeah,
what's your plan? You
yeah,
know, because obviously I'm not going to be doing pest control for the rest of my life. It's not a
yeah,
job that you can do forever. You
yeah.
know, so um, I would like to see what my son wants to do. You
Hmm.
know, and if I can see that he can take it over and then run it the way I did,
Yeah,
or run it even better, which I would
yeah,
hope. Because I know a lot of guys that take over their parents' business or whatever, and they either grow it really
yeah.
well
Or
or they end up
they
getting rid
kill
of
it.
it. They
Yeah,
kill it, you know.
yeah,
So I'm hoping that I know my when my son's older, I can see if he's gonna want it,
yeah,
and then what he can do with it, and it'll be his responsibility. If he has nothing to do,
yeah.
wants nothing to do with it, then we'll
Do
see
you
what's going on.
do you think you'll be in the field until that time happens? Because your son's very young. So do you think you
So
have another 18 years in the field?
for me right now, I love being in the field, dude. Like Des wants me to get off the field,
Yeah,
but honestly, like I love it. Like I honestly, truly like doing pest control, man. It's
yeah,
not like I'm doing it just to like get paid. Like I
mhm,
really like going out there solving issues.
yeah,
Sounds lame, dude, but you kind of feel like a superhero when you
sure,
help an old lady
yeah,
like get rid of all her rat issues
yeah,
and stuff, and it feels good. Like you accomplish something.
yeah,
And guys, they need that, dude. You need to feel
mm,
that
sure.
accomplishment every day. So I'm hoping I can do it
Mm.
for another 18 years, But if
Well,
I can't,
yeah.
then
Well, let me give you some pushback on that. So you're so used to seeing this on a micro level of like you do something and you get an end result, right? And
yep,
that's like the serotonin. That's the dopamine rush that you get, right? But if you decide to get out of the field, I think you would take your same enthusiasm and your same drive into building your business and growing it, and then you can touch 20 people, you can
yeah.
touch 50
And I
people,
do
right?
agree, and that's what I'm trying
Yeah,
to do now, and that's a challenge for me because I
I'm the
need to
same way.
I feel like I plateaued,
Yeah,
and I'm trying to like break that and
yeah,
keep growing. But now like I'm trying to figure out because we hired a new guy and he um he started and he kind of took over my route a little bit.
hey, you made me work on a Sunday, new guy. Continue.
Oh, did he?
Keep going.
And so pretty much he took over my route. So now I'm like focused. I'm like, okay, I need to get back on the social media stuff
Yeah,
and I need to do this and I need to find time to come do a podcast like
yeah,
this. So um because before I would be like, I can't.
yeah,
There's no way.
yeah,
But now that he's here, like I need to figure out how to break that plateau and keep growing. And I think that's a huge challenge for me, and it's
yeah,
something that's gonna like keep me busy for a
yeah,
bit because I don't even know what to do right now,
yeah.
dude. Like I'm
I
trying to go find new
yeah,
customers, but where? You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I think I would love to talk to you about that, like offline, and how to build things. That's one of the things I'm trying to help people is build because, like I said, I've been lucky enough to be in situations where I'm way out of my league, way out of my element, and I've seen how these other people move, and it makes a difference. But when he's talking about like he was always out there grinding. That's not like he's not saying this for the gram. He's not saying it for the camera. Like I met you and I liked you right away, but I would see your wife 15 times for
Hmm.
every one time I would see you.
Yeah,
And every time I'm like, where's Javi at? Where's my guy? I'm trying to get some beers or whatever. I'm just talking
yeah,
to my guy. He's working. It was always you were working, right? And
yeah.
recently I've seen you a lot more. And I think that's great that you've taken a little bit more time out of the field and trying to grow the rest of your life. Cause I think the more that you grow your normal life not working, your business is going to reflect that and your business will get bigger.
I hope so. And then like
I know it will.
yeah.
I know if you take more social time to branch your circle out or just to continue to go to like some of the gatherings with your other friends,
Hmm.
everybody needs your service and you'll be able to grow it bigger just because of how charismatic you are as a person. And sometimes, yeah, you want to go treat someone to make whatever you make doing that, but you might meet three people at a little soiree. And now you're treating them, right?
And it
Yeah,
has happened. Like
yeah,
I'll get invited to a party in Temecula, a bunch of people I don't know, and
yeah,
I like being put in uncomfortable positions like that
yeah,
because I'll go talk to people, and then they'll be like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Pest
yeah,
control." Like, "Oh, cool, I need a guy,"
yeah,
and I'll walk out of the party with three new customers.
yeah,
But yeah, like with Des, like how you said, like I was
yeah,
always working.
yeah,
Like I would always tell her like I didn't want me always working to take away from her fun, so I would
sure,
always say like, "Can you please go?" Like
yeah,
because she wouldn't want to come without me. So I'm like, can you please go? Like, and
yeah,
just tell everybody sorry I can't be there, and that's it. And it
yeah,
sucked, but now that we have our son, like I try to be at more places
yeah,
because like I want to be around him.
yeah, yeah.
I don't want him to remember me just working all the time.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I think we're gonna stop it there. It was great to have you, man. I really appreciate
Yeah,
you taking
dude.
the time to come in
Yeah,
here,
thank
and
you, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna post a bunch of clips, and hopefully you get a couple more people looking for pest control. And I said it in the beginning, but his company is Left Coast Pest Solutions. You're based in the Inland Empire, and
Yep.
how far do you like? Where do you realistically want to be? Because I know you'll go where you have to go, but
Yep.
where do you want to service?
So pretty much Inland Empire, Ontario, San Bernardino, that whole loop, all the way up to North County, San Diego.
Okay.
All the way down to 215,
Yeah.
Beaumont, Banning, we do all
Yeah.
that stuff. So Ukaipa,
Yeah.
Redlands. Our new guy's actually based out of Redlands. So like I'm
Okay.
trying to grow that area a little bit
Yeah.
more. He's actually going to Big Bear on Tuesday to
Wow.
do a cabin.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can pick up more clients up there,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you again. I appreciate you
Yeah,
coming.
man. Thanks for having
Thanks.
me, dude.
Yep.